The Black Death, also known as the Bubonic Plague, was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history. It swept through Europe in the 14th century, causing widespread death and social upheaval. Here are some key aspects of the Black Death. 1. Origin and spread. The Black Death is believed to have originated in Central Asia, possibly in the region of Mongolia or China. The plague bacterium, Yersinia pestis, was transmitted to humans through fleas that infested rats. Trade routes and military movements facilitated the spread of the disease from Asia to the Crimea and then into Europe. 2. Outbreaks. The Black Death first arrived in Europe in 1347 when Genoese traders brought the disease to the port of Messina in Sicily. From there, it quickly spread throughout the continent, reaching southern and northern Europe within a few years. 3. Symptoms. The plague presented in three forms: bubonic, septicemic, and pneumonic. The most common form was the bubonic plague, characterized by swollen and painful lymph nodes, buboes. Other symptoms included fever, chills, fatigue, and muscle aches. 4. Mortality. The mortality rate varied, but in many places it is estimated that 30 to 60% of the population succumbed to the disease. Some areas experienced even higher mortality rates. 5. Social and economic impact. The massive loss of life led to labor shortages and, consequently, increased wages for the surviving workers. There was a significant impact on agriculture, trade, and other economic activities. Social structures were disrupted as traditional norms and institutions struggled to cope with the scale of the disaster. Number 6. Responses and reactions. The medical understanding of the time was insufficient to comprehend the nature of the disease, leading to various unsuccessful attempts at treatment. Fear and panic spread, leading to social and religious unrest. Some communities turned to persecution, blaming minority groups like Jews for the plague. 7. Aftermath. The Black Death had long-term effects on European society, influencing art, literature, and religious practices. 8. Medical and scientific understanding. While the people of the 14th century lacked the scientific knowledge to understand the true causes of the Black Death, later advances in medicine and microbiology allowed researchers to identify Yersinia pestis as the bacterium responsible. The lessons learned from the Black Death contributed to the development of epidemiology and modern public health practices. 9. Changes in religious and cultural practices. The pervasive fear of death during the Black Death had a profound impact on religious beliefs and practices. The prominence of death and mortality in art and literature increased, with themes of memento mori, Latin for remember that you will die, becoming prevalent. 10. Urban and rural dynamics. The population decline caused by the Black Death led to changes in both urban and rural landscapes. Abandoned villages and fields resulted in a shift in land use patterns, with some areas reverting to wilderness. Cities, having suffered significant losses, saw changes in demographics and social structures. 11. Public health measures. In response to the Black Death, cities and regions began implementing early forms of public health measures. Quarantine and isolation practices were employed to prevent the spread of the disease, foreshadowing the development of modern public health strategies. 12. Continued outbreaks. While the Black Death of the 14th century is the most well-known pandemic, outbreaks of the plague continued to occur in Europe for several centuries. These subsequent outbreaks, though often less severe, contributed to ongoing challenges in public health and societal resilience. 13. Historical significance. The Black Death is considered a pivotal event in European history, representing a turning point in social, economic, and cultural development. Its impact is often cited as a catalyst for significant changes in various aspects of European life. In summary, the Black Death was a catastrophic event that had far-reaching and long-lasting consequences for Europe. While the immediate effects were devastating, the subsequent societal, economic, and cultural changes contributed to the shaping of the continent's history in the centuries that followed. The lessons learned from this devastating pandemic also played a role in the development of medical and public health practices that continue to be relevant today. It marked the end of the medieval era and contributed to the beginning of the Renaissance. The population of Europe took centuries to recover to pre-plague levels. The Black Death left an indelible mark on European history, and its impact reverberated for generations, shaping the course of events and influencing cultural and social developments.